Hey guys. So I have a really cool technique to share with you today because I know a lot of us probably don't have paints at home, but if we have washable markers, we can kind of make our own paints. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to show you two different ways that you can use them. So what you do need to have is some washable markers. So these are Crayola brand. It says washable on them. Doesn't have to be Crayola. Mr. Sketchworks. It's just that they have to be washable. So no permanent markers, Sharpies are not going to work with this. Okay. And then you are going to need a piece of paper. Of course, you're going to need a paintbrush and some kind of container to hold water. I like to use a little yogurt cup. You can really use anything, like a drinking cup is okay, but it's not ideal because you drink out of it. So try to find something, excuse me, that's like a recyclable, right? That you can just keep as your dedicated water cup. And then we're going to make our own paint palette. So that's what this is, and I'll show you how I made it. I cut a piece of a box, so under here, this is just a cardboard box. I wrapped it in tin foil, and then I just put some pieces of tape to keep it on. All right. So now what you're going to do is add your paint, which is actually markers. So you can kind of see some spots on my paint palette already. And what I did was I just colored onto the tinfoil, just like that. It's not going to look like much. Okay, I put some green here, yeah. And then I had some purple. No, just use purple. I used pink, and let me start with one more color for now. I'll do blue. Okay, so it also looks like it's like drying up quickly, but it's gonna be really cool. So now I'm just dipping my brush in the water, and I'm gonna choose my first color to start with. So I just made this little doodle. You don't have to have something already drawn, but if you do, then you can use these paints to kind of paint it. Or you can just kind of have fun on a piece of paper. So I'm going to paint my little cupcake here. So with my wet brush, you can see as I'm adding it, it looks like paint, right? It looks like watercolor paint. It's really cool. So, and I'm going to use it exactly like I would use paints, right? So look, how cool is that? Painting right in that space. Yes. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush now. Okay, we know that. We talk about that all the time. I'll use my purple. I think I'm going to do like a kind of rainbow thing here. So I'll paint this one purple. Doesn't it work just like paints? You can always get more on your brush. And then I'll do green here. Yeah. So cool, right? And when you find that you're running out of color, like it's not really showing up so brightly anymore, take your marker and draw on some more, right? Eventually it will run out, but it actually lasts longer than you would think it does. Okay, so I think I'll probably finish that up later, but I want to try out this, see how this pink looks too. So I'm going to do a couple of my sprinkles. Ooh, that looks really fun. Oh, and I'm going to do her cheeks pink too. I love it. So you can just kind of keep going in that same way. I'm going to show you my second technique for you guys. I'll finish this later on my own, I think. So this, in this way, we don't need our paint palette anymore because we're actually going to start with something that's already kind of colored in. So my black lines are with Sharpie, and you'll see that nothing happens to them with the water. You'll see that I kind of colored this in like really sketchily, right? I have a lot of white spaces showing, and you guys know that I don't like white spaces showing. And I'm going to add a little bit more now with you so that you can kind of see how I'm doing that. So I'm using like the broad part of, I'm using the broad part of the marker, not the tip, right? I'm using the fatter part. So I'm getting like a thick line, and I'm not really concerned at all about filling in all the white spaces because it kind of bleeds when we're going to add the water. So after orange, let me see, let's do some pink. So I'm doing like a sunset. Add a little bit of pink. And also I think that we can always add more color, right? If it seems to need it. And then I'll do some purple at the top. Okay. And I'm also not pushing down really hard. Like, it doesn't need to be super dark. Cool. All right, so now I'm going to, again, I just put my brush in the water, okay? I don't have any other paints here. This is just water and markers. And I'm going to paint right on top of my markers. Whoa. Do you guys see how it kind of transforms, right, into paint? Now, some of you guys might know this technique because we've done it a little bit in class. But this is such a great thing to do at home, especially if you don't have paints. But you know what? Even if you do, like, how fun is this? And it looks so cool. So the other thing I'm kind of noticing as I'm doing this now, if you push down really hard with your markers, you're going to end up seeing those lines. They're not all going to go away. So I think that's just another good reason why just be a little light-handed when you're using the markers. So I'm going to be kind of careful here with the blue and the yellow because I really don't want the blue to bleed in the yellow at all. Also here with blue and orange, I'm going to have to be really careful. I think that it's going to dry pretty quickly. So I think we'll be okay. I'm going to switch to, I had a smaller brush here too. So if I switch to the smaller brush, I think I can get, oopsies. It's okay. It's okay to go outside the lines. Okay. Yeah. All right, so maybe I should actually start at the top. So if I turn my paper around, I can start at the top of my sunset. I'll start with the purple. Okay. And I'm going back and forth here in this case because that's what makes sense, right? And these will look really nice if I can get the blue and the purple to kind of mix, so I can kind of go back and forth with my brush so that they kind of mingle together a little bit. I'm going to go really carefully along the sun there. All right, how's it looking, guys? What do you think? I'm liking it. Okay, just gotta be really careful there. All right, back and forth, mixing up the pink and the purple. Oh, yes, very nice. All right, so now we're getting to the orange. All right, I wonder if that's dry. Oh wow, that mostly dried already. So it does dry really fast. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, but still want to be careful because we can see how easily the colors mix together. So now in this case, I'm going to kind of trace the outline. And maybe I can come back there because I went outside the line a little bit. I don't really want to mess with it right now or when it still might be a little wet. So if it dries up and they're not mixing so well, just add some extra water and it loosens up the marker paint right away. It's pretty great. Yeah. Wow, guys. So I would love to see what you did. I'm going to be finishing this on my own too, I think, because I want to wait to do the sun until I know everything else is dry. So the other thing that I didn't mention with this paint palette technique, if you don't get to finish up all of your paints and you have to go off and do something, leave it be. It might dry up. It'll probably be wet for a little while, but eventually it dries up. And it's okay because all you have to do is add water again and you can bring it back to life. So that is also really awesome because you're not going to be wasting any, right? And you can put as many colors out as you can fit. So this is a really fun thing, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot during this time, and I hope you guys do too. Again, let me know, what are you making? I'd love to see it. See you later.